Welcome everybody to the Skull Hunter Podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Anchor, your all-in-one shop. If you want to start a podcast, now is your time. Go to anchor.fm or download the Anchor app today as anchor.fm or download the Anchor app today. We got some boys with me today. We have Joseph and Charles,
Hello.
everybody.
I'm always used to like in podcast world, like when a person's name is said, the voice comes in right after to assign. I fought that habit for a year now, and it finally cracked.
That's how everyone does it. They're like, and do I thought today we have etc. And I'm always just like, it's the same thing. So why not skip it, get it known who's here, and just start. Like it just makes the most sense to just get in, start it up. Talk about the sponsor that you're paid to talk about and just get it started. Like it just makes sense to do. So I know Joseph was like, hey, it's Joseph. Hi, it's Four Eyes Jordan. I'm like, who? And then you have Charles, the child. I'm joking. I was going to finish that sentence and I figured probably won't. But we have Charles, the guy who is, he's a gushing for some Pikachu, more like a Pikachu. But how my boys doing today?
I'm just looking forward to when this upcoming weekend, because freaking huge things happening in the world of wrestling. Looking forward to it because it's the first pay-per-view of the year. Because they only do 4 pay-per-views a year.
Well, I mean, the world is definitely looking forward to some updates soon. So that is good. Looking forward to some wrestling stuff. Joseph, how are you doing?
Not bad. Had some interesting happenings. Has some interesting things happen between this weekend and last week. Nice. So I want to like sink my teeth into Call of Duty because it's the first like Call of Duty that I played in years.
Vanguard sucks.
Well, I'll ask you to elaborate on that. But anyways, Vanguard. So for those of you who are following my mini arc, so the transcribing job that I applied to said I didn't pass the test, which I thought like, okay, I'm probably gonna get within like 95, 96%. I'm pretty sure I got this. I ain't got it. I did not have it. So I looked around, found a whole bunch of them, studied which one I wanna go with, picked that one. And then I tried to complete the test in 90 minutes, and it was just for somebody who's like not familiar, and I don't really have the muscle memory down for it yet. Mm-hmm. In spite of my prior experiences in audio and in writing, it was like, oh, this is overwhelming. Here's something: if anybody's interested in this, AI exists, and AI is pretty good at transcribing things. Like if it's a conversation like what we're having, accuracy within I would say like 80%.
Oh
right?
Yeah. You could turn on Google Translate, and just that alone would do pretty damn good.
So what does that leave? Well, that leaves all the stuff that AI can't do yet, which is like restaurant scenes.
Mm-hmm. Freaking AI get any more smart than they already are. Freaking, we're gonna have the freaking Matrix or iRobot shit going on at fucking Terminator.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So like, it's more of an investment that I was expecting. I'm still going to try for it, but I've like kind of scaled back what I'm going to be doing to rely on it. I think it's going to be something that I can maybe do on the weekend, but we'll see. But it's there's always like that other side to it where I'm not fully aware of what it's going to take, and now I am aware of what it's going to take, and it's a challenge. So there's that. But yeah, I also have some opportunities lined up. Have got an interview. They said it could be anywhere between 1 to 3 weeks from now, so preferably on the sooner side rather than the later side. And then applied to another position today for a developer that I am dying to work for. I would love to work with these guys. So fingers crossed. Pray for Joseph. Now, what I really want to talk about hashtag pray for Joseph. What I really want to talk about was my impressions of Call of Duty, which is obviously Infinite Warfare, but also like what's my take on the Call of Duty series as a whole, having played one of the more recent entries.
Black Ops 4 sucks too.
Okay, your time. Okay, you're over here. Screaming. You will have your time to scream, my child.
I'm ready to give it. give it the screaming time. So Charles, you last time you said, and I quote, "Why would you like that piece of crap?" So what was it? I'm you'll understand where I'm coming from once I played it. But I first thing I want to ask you guys is like, what were your impressions of Infinite? And Charles, why didn't you like it?
I've played freaking just about every Call of Duty to date, especially around and usually sometime around the time that they first came out and everything. I played Infinite Warfare. I started the campaign and never finished it, and I kind of wish I had because I actually kind of liked that campaign. I played the multiplayer, and honestly, I got so sick and tired of playing this freaking jumping around, freaking futuristic warfare bullshit after Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, and well, also kind of Black Ops 4.
Oh, okay.
I just
So a
got
lot
freaking
of the
like I just got
mechanics in
sick and tired
Infinite
of it.
Warfare, they've been in some of the prior entries. Okay.
Only freaking Infinite Warfare took it to a whole new fucking level.
So my issue with Infinite is actually I don't have much of an issue. My issue was more with Advanced Warfare. Because Infinite, the campaign was really good. The multiplayer was better balanced than Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare, they were trying something new and they kind of went too far. Versus Infinite, they did a little bit better on controlling how you could do things and how much you could do of these things. So I don't have a problem with it. I
Both
just
games
wish it
still
was
have that
more.
Sorry.
Yo, go ahead.
Both games still have that bullshit where you can get freaking different rated versions of guns that have
Yeah.
slots that freaking can fuck over other people that don't have those same guns.
Yeah, but once again, that's where Advanced Warfare really took that way too far because you could have 18 copies of one gun unlocked, and where Infinite, you had 4. You had 4 versions of it you can get unlocked, and that what you had. So that's where Infinite kind of helped ground ground itself versus Advanced Warfare. But Advanced Warfare, like I said, I'm never gonna sit there and start like shaming a company for trying new things, so long as it's not slavery. I mean, I'm not gonna be like you're trying something new. This ain't the same point shoot game. I'm gonna want them to try new things, and they did, and they learned from it, and they figured out what they could do. Now they're backpedaling, so I mean they're remaking the old Call of Duties for a reason. So because they know that's an area they dominated, they're going back to it. But yeah, I don't have any problems with Infinite. It's more the Advanced Warfare, but even then, not really a big problem.
Right on. Yeah,
Advanced
because I
Warfare
just know that Infinite is one of the more maligned ones in this series, and I can see why because it is. I mean, Advanced Warfare is already somewhat of a departure for the series, and then for them to take that departure to outer space, I can see why players are not happy with that. But I'm never gonna malign Call of Duty for not taking creative chances. They've taken actually quite a few creative chances over the years, like with okay, well, there's certain scenes I don't feel like talking about today, but I think Call of Duty fans know where I'm going with this. But so yeah, so my impressions of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is fantastic. Like it's kind of hard for me to get into a single player game these days, just because my mind is racing a mile a minute. So the story, I mean there's obviously they have to deploy a lot of tropes. You have your moral righteous main character who's basically like a flawless human being as far as I can tell. An equally flawless female counterpart who I'm kind of hoping they hook up. Don't tell me if they do. Don't tell me if they do. I'm going to find that out for myself. I love the fact that it took place in real time. So from the moment the campaign starts, not counting like the prologue mission, which is different people, but as soon as the player takes control of their character, the story never like takes a time jump. At least I haven't had. Well, there no significant time jumps. Like the character's unconscious for a little bit. Spoilers, which is the only break that they come up with. So I love the fact that it actually feels like this war is now taking place in the span of time that I'm spending playing it. I was not expecting the side missions. I don't know how often Call of Duty has more of like a quest structure where you can do the main missions, but you can also do side missions as well. I don't know how many other the games do that in the series, but that to me was a huge plus. I wasn't expecting that one bit. I really thought it was just going to be mission to mission.
It kind of did that with Black Ops 2 with like the missions where that could actually affect what ending you get.
Yeah, there's been several Call of Duties that has done that, but Advanced Warfare, Infinite, all of them kind of took that to the next level of made it where like you don't have to do it, like true side missions. You don't have to do it. It's
Yeah.
not going to change how the game is, but
Yeah, my instinct is like I'm gonna do some side missions, but I feel like if I do all of them, that might actually affect the main story. Where if I take too much time and then something happens, so my instinct right now is to do some of them, but don't like grind out every single last one of them and then go to the story missions.
okay.
They mix up the gameplay plenty. There's the typical shooting galleries, especially in some of the early levels. There's the zero gravity stuff, which is like, I don't like it that much, but again, it breaks up the gameplay. Then there's the dogfights in space, which are pretty good.
Halo!
And then I'm missing one other format I'm blanking on, so I'm not going to dwell on that because it's podcast after all. So I liked all of that. I like the way it mixes up the gameplay. I'm not going to say anything about the multiplayer. I'm not even going to bother with it. I didn't buy it for the multiplayer. The thing that I don't like about it, and this is a small gripe, but I think it's important, is when we play games, assuming that the game is trying to tell a story and there has to be an investment for the player to buy into the reality and that suspension of disbelief. Every little detail counts.
Yep.
So as soon as the player does something that breaks that realism, it pulls the player out of the story. And unfortunately, this game is guilty of that. So like, if all right, commander, open the door, and then I just start like looking around. Just, all right, commander, we need you to open the door, and then they kind of like run out of lines, and I'm just like standing around going, yeah, well, I'm costing us valuable time right now. Uh, it's on me as a player to continue to give my subconscious realistic information and not like break the game or break the reality of it. Which is it's one thing in missions when the player is like acting against their own best interest to
Hmm.
move the story along, but I do fault the game a little bit more during the downtime when I can walk around the ship and I can like see what the other people are up to. The commander doesn't strike up conversation. Everybody just minds their own business. Maybe they'll say a line to my character, and then I just move on. So in a situation like that, either I play along and I just wander through as the game expects me to, or I push the boundaries of the game and I break reality for myself. So players and the player and the designers, they have to have this, I guess, social agreement where I'm going to play the game the way you intended so that I can have the best experience. But if I push it, I would like for the game to push back. And Call of Duty didn't really do that. And I think a lot of that has to do with the limitations, where they only have so much time to make these things. And unfortunately, a lot of those smaller details get lost. So not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination, but it does restrain me from doing a little bit more exploring and having a little bit more breathing room. It makes me say, okay, I don't want to take myself out of the experience. I'm just gonna like go to the next mission, read the logs, listen to the lines, and then move on. So that's my only complaint, and it's not a really big one. But other than that, I'm enjoying it immensely. I can't wait to get back to it.
Nice. Now, to stay on the Call of Duty topic for a minute. So to stay on this, now with Call of Duty, is do you take like kind of some of Resident Evil's like kind of like stuff they throw at you with? You want to read everything you find, even if it's like something written on the wall, a piece of paper you find, a document. Do you take the time to actually read through it all? Or do you just collect it, spam the button, and get off?
That's a good question. So, in Resident Evil, and specifically, my girlfriend Jen is way more methodical than I am. She will walk around the entire room pressing the A button, making sure she doesn't miss anything. And
Nice.
typically, she ends up finding more secrets than I would.
Yep.
I in a single player game, I'm more focused on trying to emulate how I think these events are actually playing out. So, like in Resident Evil, I'm trying to move the character around in a more realistic way, and I'm just trying to like feed myself information so that my subconscious is being told a good story. So, for instance, in a lot of the times in Resident Evil, especially in Resident Evil 2, I'll open the door. It does the door opening cutscene. Close the door, and I'll just put my gun up right away and just like,
Yep.
and there's no one there. Like there was never a time where, or actually maybe there's like one time where a monster actually does coming running at me. So I'm always for like trying to play the game as if I'm an actor and I'm
Hmm.
trying to kind of like represent the character. And I'm not on stream or anything. Nobody cares, but I care. I like feeding myself more immersion, and I'm not trying to push the game. So in both those cases, no, I don't. No, I don't like explore every nook and cranny. I haven't done that in a long time. I don't even like I haven't done that since Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64 and Majora's Mask on the 64. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that I just had more time and less games.
Okay.
Nowadays I have, more games and less time. So I just yeah, I'm not really gonna bother doing that too much. Every now and then I'll get a detail. Like when you go into the commander's office and I can check those audio logs. I was listening to a few of them, but then as soon as I switched to a different tab, the audio recording stopped, and I thought, oh well, why don't you just keep the audio recordings
Yeah.
playing while I'm looking around the rest? So the fact that it oversaw that little quality of life improvement, it made me, "All right, I'm not going to bother."
Okay. Yeah, I was more just curious on that because like I come from Resident Evil. I know you love Resident Evil. And my mom will read every documentation she finds. If it's the first time playing, she will read everything she finds. I'm exact opposite. The only times I look back through the files is when like the passcode is hidden in there and I'm like, oh no, I'm looking through it, I'm glancing through, I'm like, Simon, is that the, no, okay, it's, oh, there's a one in here, there's a, whoa, oh, that's a page one, never mind, like, that's what I end up doing, only when I need to, so I was curious, like, maybe with someone who actually reads, I was curious, because I can't read, I've mentioned it so many times, I can't read, okay, I am classified as a special needs child, and I'm okay with that. But I mean, I was just more just curious than anything else. Now, with Call of Duty, so I'm hearing the way you like to play. Now, have you played Dead Rising?
Just at a friend's house, only for a bit.
Do you have interest on playing it again?
It would have to like
With friends?
no, but it's gonna be added to a very long list of games that I haven't gotten around to.
Fair enough.
And it
Fair
would have
enough.
to be. I would have to be so excited for this that I would prioritize that over the to-do list. And,
Yeah.
like Infinite Warfare, that that game showed up to the club when all the other people were in their coats in the freezing rain, waiting to be let in. And Infinite Warfare was on the guest list, and the bouncer let it in and skipped the whole line.
That's
So
fair.
Dead Rising would have to do that. So what would give it that kind of VIP status?
Nothing.
Well,
Like,
it's up to me, right? I had to
yeah, I
see
mean,
for
you
myself
would
and
be
be
the
like, oh,
one
yeah.
to say like, "Hey, I really want to play this game." But the reason I say this, you're like kind of like, I don't want to do the side missions because it might take away from the main. But like Dead Rising, you're on a time crunch. Like, if what you do in the game actually affects the game, like if you do the side mission over here, you might not have enough time to do the most important thing in the game. And some of it will be like, "Whoa, your daughter's dead. Give up. Like you have to give up and try again." And then sometimes, what's that, Charles?
And if you don't save a certain number of survivors, that affects the ending too.
Yep. If you don't save survivors, if you don't give someone a certain thing in time, like there's so much stuff that like you're kind of your own boss in that. Like you decide how this game ends. That's why I was more curious of hearing how you like to play games and stuff. I was really curious about that.
That's the kind of game that I don't know. It's like a personality quiz kind of game where how each person completes the game will tell you something about them. Like did a person spread themselves too thin and maybe miss some of those key moments? Was somebody tunnel visioned and only focused on the key moments and then kind of like never stopped to smell the roses or whatever the equivalent of that is in Dead Rising?
Yeah.
Another good game that's a really fun personality quiz, by the way, and I won't get into it because probably got to move on to other stuff. But the Stanley Parable, that game is full on like once you find out what ending each person got, you'll rethink that person a little bit. So you might want to look into that
Okay.
at some point.
Yeah, definitely will. Now, do we have any final words on the Call of Duty topic that is being brought up? Any last words on Call of Duty?
Nah, I mean, if I have any major things I want to point out next episode, I'll point out to it. But all in all, I'm just happy to talk about it because I know you're a huge Call of Duty guy, and
Supported
Yeah,
them for years.
it's nice to finally buy a Call of Duty game after
First episode of playing the
on the market
remaster
for
of
me for
Modern
20
Warfare
years.
1 instead of freaking Infinite Warfare.
He might get around to it though.
I did play Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which was
That's a
the
good
first
one.
time that they did a non-World War II gun. So
Yeah.
I did play through that one, but Infinite Warfare is the first one that I bought with my own money.
Should have gotten the
Yes.
remaster of 4.
Say again?
Should have gotten remaster of Modern Warfare.
I already
Is it-
played it.
Because the remaster of Modern Warfare came with Infinite Warfare, and that's the only reason why anybody even bought that game.
Oh,
they
seriously?
made Modern Warfare a separate thing.
Well, I still wasn't gonna play it. But, all right.
Well, maybe now.
I'll take the L.
Maybe now you might, when you look at it in GameStop or whatever you Canadians have up there, you might look
We
at
have
it then
GameStop.
and then going, I should have.
I mean, I bought it used. It was $14.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Oh, World War II is about a World War II Call of Duty, the freaking Vanguard of freaking thing.
Let's not talk about Activision's disappointments, okay? Let's throw that in the past, okay? I found myself actually wanting to get back on Cold War recently. It was actually kind of weird. I literally found myself wanting to jump back onto Cold War, and I haven't played that since I played it for 24 hours. Like, today was the first day I was like, maybe, but today was also the first day I was like, I want to play transit mode on Black Ops 2. Like, I want to play zombies on Black Ops 2 again. So it was one of those days where I think it was more just reminiscent. I just had like an day, and I was just like, reminiscent. Yeah, I kind of want to play Call of Duties again. But I know what will happen if I load up Cold War. There's a 38 gigabyte update. You might want to do it. And I'm like, okay, cool. I get it done. I get on there. Oh, your first lobby? You're going to spawn and you're going to die. And you're going to spawn? You're going to get camped. So first game back, I was like, I have to have friends. I can't be alone for it. I have to, like, because if I have friends, I don't care. I will die 100 times. I don't care. But if it's just me, I'm in tryhard mode. I'm like, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. But yeah, so that's kind of the rest of our Call of Duty topic. Now, Charles has been begging. He came to my door. He came to my door, scratching, like, Jordan, Pokemon. That is right. Charles has some Pokemon news. Let's talk about it, Charles.
For those who haven't, even though I doubt at this point, thinking that there's probably not very many people who haven't already learned about this, but all the freaking Pokemon games have been out recently. If we got updates and there were some announcements made. Masters, that one freaking weird like cooking game, whatever it is, and Pokemon Arena, whatever it is, that freaking weird like soccer game, whatever it is, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and all them got updates.
Nice.
New stuff came out, and Legends Arceus has got an update too, where now there's things called massive outbreaks that happen in the game at random. And Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl finally got fucking Shaman in the game. Now I'm just waiting for fucking Darkrai. And also thinking they announced 2 new games that'll be coming out later this year called Pokemon Violet and Pokemon Scarlet. And the announcement trailer looked pretty cool. A picture of what the starters look like, and thinking they showed a bit of what the new region looked like. And from what I hear, apparently it's set in Italy. The starter that I'm going to be picking looks like a freaking cat. Even though apparently people are saying it's a chupacabra.
Hey, I mean, it is Pokemon, and chupacabras are known to like kind of transform.
And also there's the freaking water flying starter freaking looks like Donald Duck.
It's highly possible. I don't know who made that noise, but whoever did that, you did a great job. That's kind of cool. So, how many Pokemon games have they named after a rock?
I don't know, but this Scarlet and Violet are the first ones they've actually named after colors in freaking forever.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, they've moved out of rocks and back to, because they made gold and silver, but that's a rock as well. And so I was like, they're still sticking with rocks.
Precious metal, like, all right, yeah,
Crystal?
I don't need to die on that hill.
It's like they just name Pokemons after rocks. They're like, what do we got? What do we got? Can we name one Onyx? Is that possible? It's like, I'm just waiting for like Pokemon to just give up and then call like Pokemon the Unseen. I just gave you a better name than Pokemon Dirt. It's like,
Bro, they've literally gotten so far I figure when it comes to running out of ideas with Pokemon that there's literally one that's literally just an apple. That thing of thing of car keys.
So this Apple Pokemon, no joke. There's a few guys on TikTok who started making like the comments of them, and TikTok algorithm picked it up as inappropriate language because he was saying that this little apple here, or this apple's disgusting, or this apple. TikTok is taking people's videos down because of this Pokemon. Where?
Why? Because it sounds like they're slamming the company Apple. Totally legit question. Like that's what I'm trying to figure it out.
It's only when it's related to Pokemon.
Right, but they're taking it down because Nintendo's asking them not to let people bully the Pokemon.
No, it's just TikTok's messed up algorithm.
Okay.
And that's all it is. I mean,
because as soon as I hear like, no, this apple sucks, and then they get taken down, I'm like, gee, I wonder who pulled those strings.
and see, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, maybe just Apple, putting some money in TikTok's paws to, stop anything when it says hate Apple bad, Apple no. Like it sits there and takes it off. But this one guy was talking good about it. It's like, I was gonna say something about this Pokemon, but then this whole apple popped up, and now knowing this apple turns into this, and it's like, what? That's awesome! And it gets taken down. He even made a video responding back to it, going, "My video got taken down, not for anything else I said." And it cuts into the clip that showed why he got taken down, and it was this little apple, and that's all he showed. He's like, and this will probably get taken down too. It's not up. He made another post today saying, I'm done talking about this Pokemon. And he shows the Pokemon. I'm done talking about this Pokemon. But yeah.
By the way, if we could do an all-timer segment, it would be the best Pokemon that you've come up with on your own. I'm saying it now in case you guys need a chance to like dig up your old files.
We will get to it after we're done talking about the excitement of this new Pokemon update, and then we're going to go into our all-timer.
There's one thing, and these new games are freaking. If my boy isn't freaking in, and I'm going to be fucking pissed.
Charles, I don't know how to tell you this. Mewtwo's dead. Mewtwo got put down in the backyard. Like there's nothing else to say.
You know how freaking overpowered they make him, even in freaking without using his freaking Mega Evolution.
Well, it's only fitting because he's like one of the few Pokemons that was actually made.
Yeah, he was scientifically made. Off
freaking,
of Mew.
When they showed him in one of the animated videos that they did, freaking for a series that they did on YouTube. And they were showing characters from like the ones you played as in the game. This dude freaking took out a freaking green freaking Blastoise without hardly breaking a sweat.
Well, when
that's his base form.
Well, when you are made from a lab off the world's cutest Pokemon ever made, you're bound to take out some stuff.
I don't know if
Mew's pretty cute.
Mew is pretty cute, but I think I gotta go with Eevee.
The most adorable Pokemon. I'm asking Google. Oh, you know what? You are right. You're about Eevee. So we're going to, for audio listeners, I'm sorry. We're going to show the chart here. We have, maybe it will show, maybe it won't.
Pikachu, Eevee, Mew, Togepi. That's a tight race. Pikachu's just popular.
I think that's it. I think that's it. I just think Pikachu's more popular, and that's why
I always thought Eevee was the most adorable.
Eevee is, because you don't have to be into like creepy stuff to be like Eevee's adorable, and you don't have to sit there and be a big Pokemon fan either to go like Eevee's adorable. Like Eevee's cute. Like you look at Eevee and go,
and you also don't have to be into palindromes, but it helps.
Eevee has like a dozen evolutions. It's freaking Leafeon, Espeon, Umbreon, Vaporeon, Glaceon, Jolteon, Flareon, and freaking Sylveon. Which I have all of them in multiple games. Yeah, I play Pokemon a lot.
Good. I'm so glad. I'm so happy Charles is here to to stop these inappropriate jokes.
I want a plushie of all the evolutions. Not for reasons you're thinking, Jordan.
I wasn't. No, get your mind out of there, Charles. You're disgusting.
I've known you too long to freaking not know what you're thinking half the time.
Hey, Pokemon are animals, okay? And that would be animal abuse. Well, honestly, if you try to stick your no-no in a Pikachu, you're gonna pay for it. So you know what?
Understand the freaking artwork.
Have I seen
Look.
the aardvark? What?
It's an artwork, you nimrod.
Oh, artwork. Okay, no, yeah, I've seen tons of it, but I wish I never
People are
have.
making artwork of the new characters if they're showing the announcement trailers for the new games, for Christ's sake.
Look, Nintendo tried to see if they can trust their players with Gardevoir, and the players betrayed that trust. I don't see them trying again.
That.
Yeah. No, Nintendo.
People want a fucking score button for Sword and Shield, for Christ's sake. That's a fucking rabbit.
Sword and Shield. There you go. Something that's not a rock, but stones do have a good part about making those.
Hey, they did like a Pokemon Yin and Yang. Well, they did
no.
Light Dark, I guess, right?
Yeah, they did light and dark.
Yeah, that's
So,
close enough. That basically is what Yin Yang is. So
yeah, so I guess that works. But
Pokemon, Chinese food or Mexican.
I mean, they have shown that people actually do eat Pokemon.
Chinese,
So-
Chinese, it's Chinese. I would eat the fuck out of a Pikachu. Like, I'm sorry. People are like, you wouldn't eat a Pully or a Pikachu. The head's the first thing that goes. That's for anything. If I eat any kind of animal, the head is the first thing that goes. I can't eat out a stomach of a Pikachu and then just look and it's a cute head there. Nah,
I
head.
don't know about Pikachu, but I know they make food out of Magikarp and Pokemon.
Dude, I'll eat the fuck out of a magic. I think we talked about this on the podcast. I think we already talked about what Pokemons we would eat. Yeah, James was here. Oh man, I miss him. So
That he's gonna have to go back and get more milk because that milk so
dude,
spoiled
it's
by
so
now.
spoiled. James did want to make it noted that he does miss doing this and he wants to come back. But I guess his car broke down halfway to the lot because that milk still has not returned. So hopefully the milk will be here one day. But if you had to have one Pokemon, or how did you word this all-timer, Joseph?
Have you ever made up your own Pokemon?
Have you ever made up your own Pokemon? And if you have, what would it be? Charles. No, you're gonna wait. Charles.
Basically, he kind of a lot like Mewtwo, but it would be named also the same name as my freaking MLP OC in a way. It would be kind of like him too.
Okay, I was kind of picturing you would be like Master Chief.
No.
Okay. Now, Joseph.
Mine was it's a combination of a feline and Mexican food. So it would have been Tecado, which evolves into Tortillion or Tortillion.
Okay.
I like that freaking Kung Fu Cat one I've seen in Sword and Shield once.
Mine would, honestly, this is gonna sound like one that already exists, and some people might recognize it. It's called a creeper. It's a Minecraft creeper. That's all I want. Except the only difference from Voltorb is he has other moves, but he can't self-destruct. I just want a Pokemon that kills itself on a daily basis. Like, it only can use self-destruct. That's it. Voltorb.
I think there was there was Pineco. Every time Brock took Pineco out, Pineco self-destruct. It was like
but
how
he
he
had
showed
other
affection.
moves. Like, he had other
Pinecone is
moves.
basically a fucking pine cone that they just.
So you want an emo, or like an emu. Like you just want somebody who all right.
I just want someone to cause chaos. That's all I want. I want to be where someone's like, I'm going to take your Pokemon. I'm like, okay, bro. Okay.
What you need is a Pokemon who you command it to do self-destruct, but it's like a long form self-destruct where it starts to pick up an addiction to a bad drug, and then over time that drug overtakes it until eventually that Pokemon cuts off contact with all its friends and family, leaves its job, gets in jail, and so that's the kind of self-destruct.
What a Pokemon that causes chaos. Just freaking call up fucking Darkrai, freaking Zoroark.
No, according to Joseph, just get a stepdad. That's pretty much
Especially
what it
unknown.
says.
Those guys are fucking bastards.
Yeah, it skips a few steps. All right.
Oh, that's great. The creeper is better than what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I want a Pokemon that can tell you the time but can also look up information about other Pokemon. And I'm gonna call it the Samsung. So it'll be like, boom, my Pokemon, I choose you. Whoop, and then TikTok.
Remember when the very first generations, people would have fun just coming up with whatever Pokemon they want, and then other people would be, that's stupid. They would never make a Pokemon like that. Well, it's been like 9 generations, and there is definitely a Pokemon that's a chandelier.
I think there is.
Yeah,
there is.
yeah, there is.
100%.
It starts off as a candle, and then it turns into a chandelier. I think this is me accessing memory.
It's literally a Pokemon that's literally a broken teacup.
I think they went off Beauty and the Beast on these ones. I think they just lost ideas and went, what can we copy? But it's Nintendo, and they're like, Disney. Let's just copy Disney. Let's make a deer and a baby deer, and let's make some sort of history of like the mama deer gets her head blown off by a Pikachu. It's like, and then let's make a gun. Let's just make a
weird deer
gun.
in Legends Arceus that basically looks like he's freaking Santa's reindeer or something.
Yeah, that was kind of the one I was going off. That was in second gen. No, it wasn't first gen.
I forget which one Stanley was in.
Yeah, the one that looks like a reindeer.
Weird Deer's in Legends Arceus. Stanley was the one that was like forever ago. In Legends Arceus actually is.
All right, let's solve this last mystery, and then I vote we move on.
Yeah, we definitely will. I uninstalled Pokemon Go. I think I uninstalled it. Damn it.
Nice.
I need to get it back. Where? I thought I had it on this phone. Nope. Okay.
Honestly, just to sum up
Why do
everything,
I have to try to
bunch
get
of
you to get
games got
Pokemon Go?
updated.
When I gotta try to get you to get Pokemon Go to the polls.
Yeah, just basically sum up everything. Bunch of Pokemon games got updated. Freaking, you have till sometime in this month, since it's March, if they can get the Oaks letter, so you can get Shaman Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and freaking also they have an update for Legends Arceus that if you watch the trailer, there was a code that for a limited time you get 30 Ultra Balls and other 2 different types of balls, but mostly the Ultra Balls are useful to me because it's like the best ball in the game because the rest of them fucking suck.
That's
And also, I'm looking forward to those new games coming out later this year.
Definitely. So that kind of wraps up our Pokemon topic. Now, one thing I did want to make noted here. Last week we talked about anime. Okay, we talked about anime. We had our anime chat. Yeah, it's funny, gamers talking about anime. And reason why I want to bring it up now versus later is because we're talking about Pokemon. Pokemon is classified under anime. I gave out false information. Totally false information. Ruby was not one of the first few animes in the United States. I was vouching to that pretty much, that it was one of the first few in the United States. It's not even in the top 10. There were so many ones. And Joseph, you were right. Avatar, that was one that was made in America. You were 100% correct. Every bit of it was made in the US.
But like, I thought Avatar was like anime adjacent, because I don't know if I just.
It's classified under an anime.
It's classified as an anime.
It's
I mean,
classified
good
as
for
an anime.
it. I'm all right.
And
I'm happy for it.
100% correct. You were 100% correct about that anime, and you were correct about a lot more than I was. But Ruby is one of the best selling animes from the United States. They are ranked 7 almost everywhere you go. So they are really, really good, but they were not not even in the top 10 animes made in the United States.
Does it have an alternative version called Sapphire? Fuck you.
It goes around, baby. Okay, so for the podcast, I don't know if it was in the part I recorded. If it was cool, it would probably be on TikTok or something. We started this. Charles was talking about Pokemon and that his girlfriend likes the cat. I was like, oh, so she likes pussy. And he was Pussycat, and he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, ha ha ha. And then I said, then Joseph made a joke, and then I responded back to him, fuck you. And so it kept the joke kind of going. Joseph just completed the joke back over. So that's why that means so much. Man, watch the behind the scenes. So That's great. But yeah, you were 100% correct on the anime side. All the animes you listed are classified as animes, even though they're cartoons for most people. They are actually classified under anime, and they do not have the cartoon label on them. You are correct too. Cartoons and animes are highly similar, but what makes it more, how you said what makes it more connected was 100% correct. It has to do with like how it's made. It has to do with how they're there, the more realistic side of it, but not realistic, but kind of like that realistic kind of feel you were talking about last week. That if you want a better idea on what we're talking about, if you go to last week's episode and excuse me, I'm burping a lot. If you go to last week's episode, go down in the time cards, you can find exactly where we're talking about the anime subject, and you can hear Joseph actually give a pretty damn good description on what an anime is, different from a cartoon. It's actually really good. He did a really good job with Off the Fly.
I don't. No. That one wasn't Off the Fly.
Well,
that's
yeah,
a thought.
you said
that's a thought experiment I've had for you, like for quite a while.
But the fact you weren't searching it up in mid conversation, trying to get like all this stuff, and you had that in your mind still. Yeah, still good. Still good.
All right,
so good job.
I'll take it.
Yeah, good job.
I should just take it.
So now, I wanna sit there and honestly address, because we're not 100% news channel, but we're not gonna ignore the news. So the crap going on in the war, I found out something. Anonymous is officially now involved. Anonymous is a group of hackers. They are actually against Russia. Completely against Russia. Thought that was cool. Not gonna go too far into it. You can read about it everywhere else you can find your news. It is a war going on right now, and that's why I'm not ignoring that we don't know about it. And what also made this better is the Taliban has requested Russia to think about the civilians first, and that they should try to find peace.
I want to fucking talk.
See, but that shows you how bad Russia might have messed up. Now, there's nothing. We're not going to go in too deep because it's a lot of politics for a gaming side podcast, but it was something that I was just looking at going, it's bad when the Taliban is saying, you fucked up. So I was like, you know what? Maybe a sign to, just stop, get peace. Don't continue this. Just settle down. According to everything I've seen, there wasn't actually a good reason for any of this to start. Keyword, good reason. But hopefully ends more peacefully than what our last few wars have ended in. So that's all I'm hoping for. Do you guys have anything to touch on this? I don't think your Nerf gun's gonna do much. Charles is gonna be outside marching with his troops, and it's gonna be everyone with guns, and he's gonna have that. They're gonna be like, did we just let this guy through? Or did we shoot him on the spot?
I'm gonna have my fucking grandfather's shotgun on my back just in case.
Or use that, maybe.
You're gonna fill him with this, and then I'll switch to the shotgun, and then I figure shoot the heads off.
You know what? I love your tactic. Military. Just run in with a Halo Nerf gun, make them think you don't know what you're doing, and then pull the imaginary shotgun out your back, and then you go, bam, boom, done. Solve the war.
I a real gun, Jordan.
We solved the war. Thank you.
I own a real gun.
I know. We're in the United States. We can have guns. But
there's like a million pawn shops around here. I literally have one right up the fucking street on Main Street here that I could walk up to if I had the money and buy a gun from them too.
Hey, at least that means you should have a clean record then. So, good job.
I mean, I have a pistol permit that's out of date, but
well, get it in date. You might need it. But is there anything you guys want to actually touch on with everything going on in our world that is affecting everyone? Is there anything you guys actually want to talk about, or no? Do we just want to move on?
I don't know if I should, Davey.
It is up to you. It is totally up to you guys. I just know that this is something that is happening. I don't want to go too deep into it if you guys don't. It is totally fine with me. We have other stuff in the gaming world that we can be discussing. So
I'm gonna make a broad statement.
Okay.
Which is, one of the side stories that had come out of this is that there was this fighter pilot called like the Ghost of Kiev, who's been
Yes.
gunning down a bunch of Russian pilots. What I'm seeing is a debunking of this, where that story is actually just made up, and the footage is just a video game that they had used. Now, I don't know if the debunking is misinformation, and there actually is a fighter pilot going around. I can't make that a assessment anymore, because
Mhm.
I don't know which of it is the real, which is the false. I
Okay.
haven't trusted corporate media since the Y2K scare in the year 2000.
That's fair.
So I I think our the situation that we're in as a global society made up of a bunch of countries is things are way too divided amongst party lines now for anybody to be willing to give ground in one place or another. So
I blame Twitter.
now, I wanted to make a more insightful comment about this, but what I really want to talk about is sexism in gaming. Okay,
Yeah,
here
baby,
at
let's go.
G4,
G4. I mean, what?
talk to him.
Oh, that was great. That was.
I
the
got
best
one
thing
more
ever.
of those, and then I'm retiring the bit.
Okay, one
I'm
more.
retiring
Let's save
today.
it for the rainy day. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. Save it for like when World War III breaks out, because it's something more serious than, oh, okay, now you're showing an actual pistol on screen. That's cool.
Nope, he's
No,
definitely not.
It's an airsoft pistol.
Okay,
okay.
now we can show. Okay, I'm about to say there are certain lines that we can't cross.
In Canada, that counts as an actual pistol.
Really? Or you just okay? Okay. I don't know Canada. Okay, I know people say sorry. America, we just hold grudges. You guys actually, will say sorry for shit you do.
What part of America?
Well, that's like the one thing that we're competitive about, is like if two people will bump into each other on the street,
no.
it's a competition to see who says sorry first. Sorry.
Missed it, dude.
I was
I'm not
gonna-
busy.
It's okay, no worries. Because then you got to forgive the person, and that's the hard part.
Ooh.
It's gonna be like one of those competitions where somebody whips out a glove and slaps the other person in the face, demanding satisfaction. If you don't know what that's from, freaking I'm ashamed.
GoldenEye?
No.
Well, then
Be ashamed.
Am I the only one here who saw the misadventures of Flapjack? What the fuck?
Charles, I don't watch movies. If there's no titties and if there's no
Cartoon,
I saw the
Cartoon
Flappy
Network with the
Adventures of Miss Jack. Hey, chicka bab bam.
Look,
Caboose, what did I tell you about that?
Cartoon
Sorry.
Network with it.
Sorry.
I was on Cartoon Network for like a freaking short period of time. It had weird animation, but it was actually a pretty good show in my opinion.
good.
One of my favorite bits is from like where Captain Kanako's pissed off a freaking aristocratic guy, and he freaking got pissed off, and he slapped him with a glove. Freaking after he took it off his hand, and he was like, "I demand satisfaction."
Dude, I love it when someone grabs a glove and just slaps me across the face with it. Actually, I want to dive into that for a second. But real man, there was one more thing I wanted to mention with the nonsense going on. I just can't think of it. So that's gonna kind of end our topic there. For now, keyword for now. So here is. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to point out. So I am honestly like, I should be more concerned that we now have TikTok and phones and everything else. But this kind of helps the news not to lie to us either with everything going on. Like, I know you can still lie on the internet. I know everyone can do it. But if you start seeing 8,000 people making the same post, saying the same thing, showing the exact same thing that's happening right there, right now, and it's hard for the news to go, no. He didn't say that. Motherfucker, you have 8 people live streaming this man saying this at the line. Like, I honestly, like, I really enjoy the fact that we don't have to rely on a media source that lies to you the whole entire time, because I don't care who you are, the news lies. It doesn't matter if it's for the better or for the worse. They lie to you. They make themselves look good. They scare everyone and they don't try to scare them sometimes, but with the whole COVID thing, that right there was a big slap of just showing how much the media wants to scare you to listen to them. So I'm just happy that we now have a situation where we are actually can see kind of more what's going on from the actual people's perspective and not have to hear it through a bunch of liars. So
Yeah,
I
I
am
mean, the thing that
really
I
happy
find the
with
most
that.
alarming about the story isn't about the news, corporate media, isn't just the way that they tell the story, it's the way that they will redirect attention from a previous story. I mean, we had a convoy protest here in Canada, and I guess it's over now because they're not talking about it. Meanwhile, there's going to be one of the states that's revving up, pardon the expression, and they're
Yeah.
planning on getting there for Biden's state of address, which I think is May 5th. I don't know, but we'll see how much the media focuses on that. Eh, I think anybody who knows me know there are so many things I'm holding back right now. So we'll
There is.
we'll talk about this some other time on some other show.
Yeah, I just like I said, and I'm not saying this so we can try to get into that side of the politics. It's just pretty much announcing we are paying attention to what's going on. We do know everything that's happening, and we do see it. But when it's all said and done, though, we have a tons of stuff we could talk about, and you can see this everywhere you look right now. But you can't see the comment section of my videos. So I made a TikTok. About me getting killed in a video game. So how this man kills me, he stabs a sword through my chest. He lays me down on the ground, stabs it in my chest, puts his hand in my mouth, rips out my tongue, crushes it, and then beats me with a bat. So a normal person would be like, this sucks, man, on to the next. I went too far. I said, oh, pull my tongue out, bitch. Eat it. Eat it. Oh, daddy, don't smack me. Daddy.
What the fuck?
Is this verbatim?
Verbatim? What?
That means like, well, this is the transcriptionist terminology that I picked up on. It's like what you're saying right now is exactly what you said at the
Yes.
time.
It
Okay,
is
so
exactly what I said at the time. So I got my comment section here, and I would like to read out some of the replies to what people thought of my content. What the diggity dog is happening here? I respond with, just playing video games after being up for 30 hours. I have, what killer even is this? I go, Daddy Oni. What the actual fuck did I just watch? And a comment on there also responds with, I don't even know. I put down, I don't know, and I made this. We got a commenter going, no. We got a man that just responds with, this man is not okay. So I got told that pretty much they don't know what they're watching. Let me tell you, if you play video games for 30 hours without sleeping, you go crazy. You go a little crazy. And I let my daddy issues show. I obviously showed on there that I want to get beaten by my dad. People thought it wasn't a game for some reason. Like, they were like, oh, this guy has daddy issues. Because that's just off YouTube. That's not off Instagram. That's not off TikTok. People thought I have daddy issues. I don't. I got James issues. Because he went to get that milk money and never came back. Milk money. He never came back. He's in school, though. He's in school. Without that dairy, though, he's going to have weak bones. Weak bones. But yeah, that was an interesting one. It hit like 1,000 views in the first hour, and I'm in the middle of streaming, and I just look at my phone, and I get a text from my brother, just with the tag saying, "What the fuck?" And I click on it, and it leads back to my video, going, "Oh."
Your parents tell him that he can't watch anything that involves me in it because I swear too much.
No, they still watch it. They don't care if you're in it or not. They still watch it. It's just my brother will sit there and going, this man swears Jordan have to have a talk with him. I'm like, yes, Jake. But funny, Jake, shout out to you. He watches the podcast, and I haven't heard any bad things yet. Jake is now one of our biggest fans for the podcast. I'm still not his number one favorite YouTuber in the family. That is still taken up by my girlfriend, Brittany. So, unfortunately, I'll be still trying to fight that grind and cry myself to sleep at night. But at least I know I am second. With 2 channels, I am second. But it's all good. So, Elden Rings came out, has tremendous amount of positive reviews on it, also has some hate. So with the positive views on it, everyone's saying it's great, it is fantastic. The game servers crashed day 1 of releasing. That's always a good sign of a positive game or a really, really bad sign. So, what do you guys think it actually was? Was it a good sign or a bad sign? Day 1 of launch, Elden Rings.
I think it just about sounds right for freaking whenever a new game launches, because I've played so many games that crash day 1 freaking.
But a lot of those games end up being trash. Like, a lot of the games end up crashing, and it's like, this game sucks.
Looking at you, fucking Outriders and Anthem!
And, Cyberpunk. I mean, everyone thought it was a great thing because they had so many people, but it just continued to lead to more problems. So, Charles, is that it was for the good or bad?
In this case, considering the fact how much people were looking forward to that game, I think it was somewhat of a good thing.
Joseph?
I have a hard time with this one, just because it can look good on a company's reputation if there were so many players that it crashed servers, and it meant that demand exceeded supply. My conspiratorial brain suggests the possibility that they artificially limited supply so that it looked like demand was exceeding it. But you know something? I'm going to say it's a good thing. From Software has proven themselves time and time again to be world-class game designers, and they have, and apparently they knocked this one out of the park, unless you're playing it on the computer.
So, what you just stated right there has a lot to do with why I brought this up. So, there has been some conspiracy theories going on that they purposely knew their servers were going to go down because the mass load of people playing. Their servers crashed before half the people who downloaded the game was able to play it. That's what got a lot of people's attention right there. But the game rated everywhere a 10 out of 10, or 10 doesn't even exist. It's that good. So these rumors could be false, or that was a backup and they were hoping they would get more out of it. But their servers were crashing before they could even get all the players who downloaded the game on their servers. And their multiplayer feature did not work for the first 2 days of launch. It was actually inaccessible because of the servers crashing. So they could not actually keep a successful way to play with friends on there. But day 1 launch did incredible. Day 2, even better. Day 3, phenomenal. Like, this game is right now rolling the streaming world. It is dominating everything at this moment. You cannot even go on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram without seeing anything to do with this game. You will see it. You will see something about it. This game has been crushing it since day 1 of launch. Now, I'm actually excited for this, even though I don't play Dark Souls games, and I should. And I know it's not Dark Souls, it's Elden Rings. It's the same fucking thing. It has
it's Dark Souls Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Change my mind.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But yeah, you're pretty much right. It is. And it's just what it is. And I just don't really... It's not even the fact I don't want to play it. It's hard for me to convince myself to play something that is just for me. And I know what you're thinking, I could stream it. This is the problem with streaming a brand new game. Everyone is doing it. Every person is streaming that game. So if you're streaming the same time as the big PewDiePie streaming, guess what? That's a lot of people who is not going to go to your channel. You're streaming at the same time, Markiplier is streaming it, all these other people. No one's going to see it. And then you're not going to be motivated to actually do it. The problem with it right now is I don't want to play it because I'm seeing everyone playing it. Now I don't even want to play it. So
Yeah, but it is more important in single player games, especially if there's like a major storyline to it,
mhm.
and that the players wants to play it right away to avoid spoilers,
Yep.
which is what got me and what got Jen and I to watch Squid Game like ASAP, but also to be a part of that early conversation too. Rather than have to be kind of late to the party and then join the subreddit like a year later when most of the conversations have happened,
Yep.
and then a person finds out that their original thoughts that they came to on their own have already been expressed by other people, and that can be discouraging. So purchasing it early on is, I mean, you're buying it, but it's also an investment too. Like, are you investing in the community? Are you going to use this as a way to build your platform one way or another? So I get your issue though. Like, all of these other people with these bigger platforms are going to make it difficult for smaller streamers to use a game, even if that game is super popular at the moment. Everybody else is playing it too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
for
it's a
smaller
challenge.
streamers, it's more tough, but then you're also like, that was the problem I had. I was not the first to play it. The servers are down. I was not the first to play it, and I wasn't the second one to play it. And by then, I've already seen the beginning. I've already seen people in different parts of the game already. It and then after that, I was gonna, but now I really don't want to. And last time I tried to stream a brand new game when it came out, I wasn't even past the intro of the game, and I already had people in my comment section blowing up on the spoilers. And then what they said to me is, you should have turned your comments off. A streamer should turn off their comment section. Why didn't I think of that? Fuck engagement. Like, don't communicate with your viewers. And so after that, and that was Resident Evil Village, so Resident Evil 8, and I love that game, but it got spoiled for me day one, hours after it released. It was spoiled for me because people were already telling me, oh, this person dies, she's okay, she's over here, this person possessed it. And they did it so, like, I don't know who these guys are, but they're so tactful how they do it.
By the way,
So
I
good.
I know bits and pieces of the game. I think you might have just spoiled something for me.
I literally, I told you falsified information.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Nothing I said is actually true because I
So,
know
but
you
it's
are a
not the
Resident Evil
opposite
fan.
that's true, because then that's okay. I'm just no, I'm
You're
just
overthinking it now. I
yeah.
know you. I've known you for a year now. I got you, bro. I got you. But
Okay.
kinda. But I got spoiled immediately on what it was, and they were so good at it. So they would say like, "This person's dead, this person's here, and this is what happened." And they did it in such short wordings where you get what they were spoiling, and you're just like, why? Why should I even do this? And being a smaller streamer, you get to read all of your comments. So that's the first thing you do. You're not someone big like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye, and it just goes zoom. Like, you
Yeah, and they have
have to
like
see it.
mods too, who are
Yep.
monitoring the chat like a hawk. They'll ban these people for life for spoiling.
Exactly. And, and that's really good to have. But that's another reason why my brother has been trying to get me to play. He's like, dude, it'll be fun. Just hop on and play. If I play something for fun, I either have to stream it or I have to make it worth my time. So, like me and
Yeah.
Charles getting on, playing our Borderlands, playing our games, whatever. It's hanging out with a friend makes sense. A solo game, I still want to play even within two. It's been out for how long? I haven't played it. And the only excuse I have is I can record it, I can film it, I can stream it. But it's a dead game now. So it's hard
just
to do.
yesterday, me and two of my boys, we got to playing Hunt Showdown, which
Okay.
is like it's a Eldritch themed Wild Western battle royale. It's dope, but it's hard as balls. Um,
Okay.
and we were discussing the fact that like we wanted to play Bloodborne together. I especially, of all the Soulsborne games, Bloodborne is still like the one that I wanted to play the most because of the whole Victorian theme setting. And the thing of multiplayer in the Soulsborne games is that they disincentivize players from doing it. It's not like joining a lobby, entering a server, and then connecting up. There's items you have to find. There's specific rituals the players have to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then the players are only working together for a brief period, not like consistently throughout it. I know that they've improved on that in Elden Ring, but I get the feeling that they haven't completely transformed it into like a co-op experience. And the fact of the matter
Yeah.
is, Soulsborne is a social single player game. You can coordinate with other players, you can communicate, and you can get your friends to come in and help you if you're stuck in certain scenarios. But once you have multiple players in, the balance of the game is thrown off completely, and then you can just like clear out most enemies pretty easily. So if you're gonna play that game, it is really like it is a single player experience, and the multiplayer side of it is it's been a persistent novelty with them, and I respect the designers for it. They don't
Yeah.
want to turn it into a co-op game. They want it to be a single player experience, but they've made concessions so that other players can at least have a little bit more of a community aspect to it, and also the ability for players to antagonize you is probably the most important. So that other players can come at you. So that adds to
Mhm.
the game. So I'm gonna use my veering off token for this episode,
Okay.
but I'm not going too far off. I think this will be really interesting. So is we're talking about like how streamers are aligned to certain games for the long term. Like in the time I've known you, you've been playing Dead by Daylight pretty consistently, and
Unfortunately,
you're
yeah.
also known for Call of Duty. So you definitely have your sorry, okay, as consistently as you deem accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're
Uh,
right.
but you've got your games, right? And
Yeah.
James he streams Counter Strike. I do Battle Legion now. Charles does his
D-Live.
stuff, and yeah, on the live. Thank you. Um, do you know of any streamers that aren't really branded based off their game, that are a little bit more like they will go from game to game? They're a little bit more nomadic in that, or have you found it pretty consistently that streamers usually have to lock in on a one game or another at some point?
So, so here's the thing with that. I do have your answer, but I also have the reason why your answer even is there. You don't see many streamers that make it. You don't see many streamers that make it with their rising with playing different games. The reason why is to get fans, to get people to watch you, you got to give them what they want. So if let's say for an example, Call of Duty Warzone is out, you're playing it, you get 8 fans come in, now they're dedicated to you. But you go play Minecraft, why would they stay? That's not what they want to see. So, and then if you play Warzone next time, you have a high chance of not even having them join you because now they know that you're not going to play the games they want to see. So, with doing with finding out how Twitch works and finding out how Facebook and all these other streaming platforms work, you got to be consistent on the game, and YouTube will award you for it. Not Dead by Daylight. Twitch will award you for it. Facebook would award you for it if they weren't having issues right now. But like they do award you for being consistent, and they help push you out in front of the people. So let's say I'm doing a massive Pride stream for Pride Month and everything else, but I'm playing a game like Call of Duty. I'm playing that game the whole entire time, and a Pride streamer come and ends their stream. Don't raid, don't do nothing. My stream has a higher chance because she was playing Call of Duty and she was doing a lot of the Pride stuff. My stream would be one of the next ones that would be recommended if I keep that consistency. So that is why a lot of streamers will honestly be forced to play at one game. And I'm gonna go in to say Markiplier. Markiplier, Five Nights at Freddy's. That is the game he is known for. 100%. He did a great Minecraft series. He does his great horror series. He's a horror gamer, but Five Nights at Freddy's is what he was playing when he got big. And if he posts a Five Nights at Freddy's video right now, I guarantee you it's going to skyrocket his channel. When that Five Nights at Freddy's game that came out, it blew him up. People watching him live playing it and everything else. It skyrocketed his views because that's what people came on to see. That's what people saw him first. So it's all about, that's why when you start streaming, you really have to ask yourself, what game are you going to play that you can continuously play? Now you can play 80-20 rule. That's it's a common rule in business. 80% what you're known for, 20% into trying something new, 20% into doing this, 20% into doing that. So you keep a higher percentage of things that you're known for, but then you have a little bit of sweet sauce to the side. So like me, I'm known for playing Dead by Daylight. So I make Dead by Daylight streams. But I want to do a horror night from time to time. Now, luckily, it doesn't affect the genre of games I play, but it affects the main game I play. So for Facebook, I'll still type in, I'm playing Dead by Daylight. So it keeps consistency. But when fans come in, they're obviously going to see it's not Dead by Daylight. But that consistency is a big thing for the streaming world. And that's why for YouTube, I kept it Call of Duty. Call of Duty, CSGO, I kept it shooters. Because it was more consistent. I noticed my viewers come back if it's more consistent. And with Facebook, I noticed that Dead by Daylight was a big thing. People wanted to see Dead by Daylight. So it just made sense.
Great answer. Yeah, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, definitely. Charles, are you asleep?
He's asleep. This is the first. I've been in podcasting for 10 years, and I've never had somebody fall asleep on an episode.
Should we just leave? Should we just move into the other channel?
No, let's just, no, because you never know. He might, like, spring out of sleep and say something really memorable, so I'm gonna vote that we keep him here. This is turning out to be one of the more interesting podcast episodes.
Honestly, we've already gone over an hour already, and it's actually, this has been one of those podcasts where you just, like, you want to stay in a conversation, you want to keep going. I've talked to several streamers about this before. Hell, even when I was on the podcast you used to host, I was training a lot of Twitch streamers and everything else, and I've helped people go from 0 to 1,000, 0 to 10,000 on Twitch alone, and I was able to give them that advice. But the same question would be, why didn't you move to Twitch? And I had my own reasons, but I'm finding myself looking back at those reasons and ask myself, why am I not at Twitch? I help these guys go from 0 to 1,000, 0 to 10,000, 0 to a community. And the only thing that is consistent with everything I tell them, consistency. If you get to stream one day a week, guess what? Pick that day, pick that time, pick that game. Don't change that game, don't change that time, don't change that day. Because your consistency with streaming is the most important thing. Because guess what? If you stream on Saturday, and then next week you stream on Sunday, you could have gained 3 fans like, I'm going to watch your next stream, man. If it's Sunday and Tiffany's streaming in her hot tub, guess what? You're not going to see them. Unless if Tiffany decides to, put on the clothes and get out of the hot tub, you're not going to see these guys back. So it's all about consistency. And I've talked to several streamers, even the streamer you brought up. I brought that person up before, and I've even told him, like, you would do so much better with a consistency with it. If you don't believe me, Firefly XO. She's went from 0 to 1,500 followers in a year. And it's because she stayed consistent. Yes, I had to drag her back into the streaming world, but I also brought her into it. So she's more than just like a sister that's not blood. Like, she's definitely like really close in the family line. So it's like, Chrissy, I brought you into the streaming world. If you leave, it's because I take you out. I'm always like, I brought you in this world, I can take you back out. She also served our country, but she doesn't flash that around. She's not like, oh, I served. No, she's just like, I'm a gamer girl. I'm like, shut the fuck up. But I mean, so yeah, if there's any other streamers out there that actually wants to get some kind of streaming tips or advice out there, I would say comment on the podcast. Hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. My DMs are open on Instagram, so you can hit me up there. Skull Hunter Games, or leave the comment on the podcast, and we will try to actually all go through it together. We all stream in some sort of way. Some of us only post, but some of us don't fall asleep on a podcast.
Some of us are streamers, some of us are dreamers.
Okay, I like that because of our situation. That's good. I like that. But yeah, I mean, when it's all said and done, it's just consistency. And unfortunately, right now with a game that's not as highly active on, let's say, Facebook, so like I stream Dead by Daylight right now. I'm seeing the outcome of playing not a dying game, but a game that's losing viewership for reasons. But I'm also seeing the results of what happens when a new game comes out that dominates the field. because your game you were streaming goes from you're getting massive people to nothing to now you're lucky if a handful of them show up, and the handful that shows up are your true supporters. But even some of them, they can't. They're too busy watching Jeff Bezos over there playing Elden Rings. So you know what? And I don't judge them either. I mean, I catch myself watching guys I like playing video games, and I'm just like, okay. I mean, I could support this other guy, but
Yeah, like
makes sense.
if I was still playing Fortnite, I would want to watch a streamer because I want to see how the streamers are handling the changes to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And you do want somebody who's got long-term familiarity with it because you know they're going to adapt much quicker than the average player.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also
without
too,
doubt.
like it's also about like, what are your main goals, and how will the stream be used as a means to make your way to those goals? If the stream itself is the goal, then go nuts. But I scaled back my initial intentions with the stream way even once we started talking. Initially I wanted it to be more of like a fun stream where I would play lots of different games and obviously make fun of some people I can't normally make fun of.
Yeah.
But you know what? I just thought what I wanted became into much clearer focus more recently, and I realized, man, you know something? I love the shit out of Battle Legion. It really turned into one of my favorite games. And when I hop on that stream, haven't really had too many people come in, but that's okay because I'm just like, okay, well, how do I still make it worth my while? Well, I'm still gonna talk my own ear off about the game, and then I'm gonna put it up on YouTube. And then when I apply for a job with them, which I did twice now, they see my knowledge. They
Yeah.
see that I'm someone who's thoughtful about the game, and it's all going towards my goals. So you really do want to think about like what is it that you're working towards that is the top of the mountain, and then what milestones do you need to clear to get there?
Yeah, that's definitely smart to do. And also, like you just stated, is a job you want is involved with a game that you play and you really love playing it and you know a lot of facts about it. If you ever, and I'm truly talking to the audience here, if you ever sit there and like, let's say Activision, I don't know why you wouldn't want it now, but if you try to get a job at Activision and you made a video of you roasting them, you don't stand a chance. You don't think they're not gonna find my small channel. You must not know how this works. Like, they honestly, it's so easy to find a video you think is gone off the internet. It's not. It's unless if you had 0 views on it, 0 views, 0 followers, 0 nothing, then you might get away with it. But highly recommend. That's why I truly say don't bash anyone that you're not willing to take that heat back off of. So, and I've talked crap about Dead by Daylight, and that's why I haven't been able to get into their creatorship program. And I know that, and I accept it because I would rather be able to speak my opinions than be having to only talk the positive sides of them. And maybe one day they'll sit there and reconsider, especially because I'm taking a game that is the same repetitive thing, and it started getting so dull to where I was like, if I get no viewers, this game isn't fun. I made new ways to play it. I've done extreme hide and seek, and we're about to do another extreme hide and seek with bigger Twitch streamers. We did giving everything to a killer, playing the game wrong. We literally went as far as breaking every single rule in Dead by Daylight, and that right there could literally make behavior, the owner of Dead by Daylight, going, oh no, and it's that easy. But no matter what, definitely like if you start streaming a game or having ideas of why you want to stream said game, think about it a little bit more. So if you start playing Among Us, be strapped in to play Among Us and think about other ways you could play the game. Call of Duty, same way. I was like, I can get guns diamond. I can get my challenges done. I get dailies done. I can do all this stuff, and I can play it with friends. Playing with friends, biggest thing, because you'll be running your mouth for about 4 hours before you realize, oh, I'm live. Tim, was I racist? It's like, you're gonna have to ask those questions, but just plan it out. Streaming's not, it's obviously fun, but once you start that stream button, you need to prepare that today's the day you could blow up. and more than likely you'll spend 2 weeks without even seeing a viewer, 3 months without seeing a viewer. But just imagine that one stream you do will blow up and everyone in the world could see it. That's going to stop you from saying a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, two things to say to that, because I know we got to wrap this bad boy up. The first is that you made a point that as your reputation or as your profile increases and the game starts to come down from its apex, eventually you'll become more desirable.
Yeah.
So even if okay, there's a history there, but you know what? So what, right? I mean, I'm sure everybody who's worked for that game has complained about something at some point.
Yeah.
So be mindful, but I think at a certain point, your value is what shines more than anything else. And apologize for your mistakes and move on. And then, oh crap! Oh man, I had a whole other point I was gonna make, but I feel like it was a good one too.
It more than likely was a good point. So I'll just kind of shadow it in so there's no blank audio here. But yeah, no, definitely like I said, I've talked some smack. I've even lost my little ship with Activision for it, and I lost it. And guess what? I apologized and moved on. But it was also when everything was happening. They took my stream key away, or not a stream key, but they give you a beta key, and they took mine away. They took it all away. But
I remember.
It's all good.
I remember. Okay.
Yeah.
It is. You also have to make peace with who you are as a person. If I'm going to have to like transform myself in order to appease the people that I'm clearly making a bid for, well, I'm just gonna have to keep up that facade forever.
Yeah.
Or for as long as I want to have that working relationship. And that's not going to be good for me. That's not going to be good for my mental health. And I'm just not going to, and it won't last forever. So, be yourself. And if there's an opportunity that's not going to be a good fit for you because of the way you are, then the last thing you want is to have to put on a show for the entirety of that. So, does that sound like someone's describing his previous job experience?
No, not at all.
Not at all. No, not one bit. Not one. No.
Anyone that can read between the lines. Anyone that can understand what's going on here.
It's a good thing this is the episode that I'm going to learn how to edit on.
So that is something, guys. So Joseph will actually be playing around with the edits on this podcast. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting roll off my hands for once. He's gonna take it. I'm still gonna edit something out just in case if he gets the job that he wants, but he's busy all week. At least then we know we're covered. Just remember one thing. Last minute sucks. That was also how this podcast was edited. Well, not this one last week's. Last week's podcast was edited. But it's exciting. We're trying new things. Like I talked about, we got the timestamp cards in. We're trying to get a new backdrop, like an actual podcast backdrop. I'm working on a new system to collect audio. We're going to be trying to work with that kind of stuff. We're trying to slowly figure out to be better at what we do. Season 3, you will definitely be able to see a whole new change. There was a podcast idea I had, and it was something stupid. It was like, oh, sorry, we're live. And I don't know why I want to do it, but I could just imagine like the merch shirts is like the open or sorry, we're closed sign, but and it's sorry, we're live on it. I figure like merch opportunity, that would be amazing to do. But also it was just like, sorry guys, we're live. Welcome. What's up? And we just talk about just dumb stuff the whole entire time. Just pretty much be ourselves.
Would that be the name of the program?
Yeah, name of the program. Sorry, we're live. I don't know why. Like it has like a weird Joe Rogan kind of idea with it in my head, but I also see like why people would buy that for like when they're live streaming and stuff like that, is buy a shirt or something like that. Like, sorry, we're live. Like I can see like the marketing side to it, and I was like, man, that'll be a good product. And don't even think about trying to take it because you can't. I'm making sure no one.
I'll do the knockoff of it called "Oh shit, fuck, oh shit, bitch."
It's just ... We're live. Or no, I'm sorry. You have to put some pound signs and stuff like that.
The onomatopoeia for like tapping a microphone.
boom, boom, we're live. That, you know what, that would work. Also, did you know a lot of people did not know what a pound sign was?
I
Dude,
can believe it
that's
because
the
of the whole,
generation we're going into, and I'm a part of this generation. Like, I was born 1999. Like, I'm a part of this generation, and I know what a pound sign
people
is.
still call companies that use computer AI people, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
after you enter your number, press the pound key. Does that mean I have to hit it hard?
Yep. And people, and this is the worst part is, and that's why they no longer have that option. They just say hit a number. A lot of the newer places you call will tell you to hit a certain number or just stay on the line. And I was like,
Hold perfectly
oh
still.
my God, stand
Do not
still
open another tab.
and then stand on one foot. And then do the little scorpion, or not scorpion, the crane. Just do a little
crane
crane
kick?
motion. Yeah, the crane kick. Once you complete your
Yes,
Karate
lucky
Kid.
I'm obsessed with Cobra Kai. That's how I know that one.
Oh, dude, I wanna be asked on a podcast show that just talks about Netflix shows, because I got like 2 Netflix shows, and that's all I know. Actually, Manifest, the new season's coming out soon, and I can't wait. But while we wait for that new season, is there any last topics or any last words we wanted to announce before we start our sellout?
There was one other thing about Call of Duty Infinite I forgot to mention.
Ooh, okay.
I every time I die, it tells me something about the Settlement Defense Front.
Okay.
Like SDF puts pineapple on their pizza, or SDF hates babies, or just like some sort of like anti-SDF statement that makes you hate them a little bit more. And I'm wondering if there's gonna be like a flip of the script somewhere in the game where you find out that like Earth kind of dicks, and it turns out SDF are actually kind of based. So we'll see. There's a part of me that's wondering if they're doing like the propaganda thing. So we'll see about that. But I remember thinking about like, yeah, it is nice to have a villain that I can just shoot and not feel bad about. Wonder if they're gonna turn the tables on me some point in this game. We'll see. We'll find out.
You end up just playing the enemy side of it, and it's talking about how big of a piece of shit you are. It's just like, this guy eats babies.
I'm glad you're dead, dick. It's the same copywriter. He still works for Earth. He's like,
ooh, dude, there's a blind guy. He does a bunch of TikToks and stuff like that, and he's a narrator for a lot of stuff. He was big for GTA and stuff like that. I forgot his name. He's really popular. I just want him to narrate just one time, just like narrate the dumb stuff like that, like, you're dead, you fucker. Eat cock and die, bitch. Like, he's really good. He's actually right there. That kind of puts me in a situation where I'm like, that's why I want to voice act more. Is a guy with a massive disability to properly read a script, everything else, and he makes more than me, you, and Hillary Clinton makes together. Like, and he does a great job. I mean, so can't really argue with that. But
Hillary Clinton makes a lot more than she shows on paper. That much.
Whoa, we're not talking about the illegal stuff. Okay, we already know what's happening
Just
there.
letting everybody know that I am in sound mental health. All right.
Joseph, where can people find you?
Good question. So if you want to head on over to giantenemycompany.com, you can check it in once in a while. Wait for my updates. I've been periodically building it out a little bit so that it's more cohesive. So yeah, that's a little bit of project. And I did spend 2 years working with Debutify, so I'm happy to give him another shout out. Because that podcast really was a life-changing experience, and my gratitude cannot be understated. Though I've tried. So I will gladly give him one more shout out, which is ECOMONICS. That is Ecomonics, like e-commerce. And if you type that into Google tries to correct you, tell him no. Not today, Google.
Good job. Good job. I definitely did not leave. I had to get a drink, but yeah. So that was the podcast. Our little sleepy boy over here. You can find him at CJ the Lone Wolf on YouTube. He makes Destiny clips, pretty entertaining. He talks about if there's any new stuff going on in the game, to fun clips he has. You can go check him out. That's CJ the Lone Wolf. You can check out me at Skull Hunter Games on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. You search it up and you're gonna find me, this beautiful mug. And that's what we are. If you want to see what this podcast is, you could go ahead to anywhere you find your podcast at. That could be Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you honestly listen to anything at. You can find this podcast. So make sure to check us out. Leave us a like. Give us a comment or two. We'll definitely try to read them. And last but not least, thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring the podcast. Anchor is an all-in-one platform for your podcasting need. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast just like this one? Or maybe you want to talk about Sex in the City? Anchor is your place to go. You might be like, where do I start? Where do I go? Anchor got you covered. You can start your podcast there. You can upload your podcast there. You can even distribute your podcast there. And you can get paid immediately for custom ads just like this one. They're not paying me to say this. They are paying me to mention them. So you can customize your ads however you want to, along if you say some positivity stuff about them. You can get your podcast paid for by them. So make sure you go to anchor.com, or no, it's anchor.fm, or download the Anchor app. That is anchor.fm, or download the Anchor app today. Thank you, Anchor, for being a long-term sponsor of the podcast. Oh, we did it. I had to breathe. I was trying to see
Good
if
job.
I could go without taking the breath. So who wants to scream us out?
So let me see if I understand the logistics here. So we're on speaker right now. I don't think Charles muted us, so I think it is possible that we can make a noise. All right, so everyone who's listening, lower your volumes, do what you got to do. We're gonna
Sorry about those guys.
you were warned, right?
Oh, bye, everybody! Woo! What the fuck?
Damn.
Okay.
I have to use chewable melatonin to fall asleep. This guy falls asleep in the mid conversation.